Joining us now, one of the senators who questioned witnesses today, Democratic Senator Alex Padilla of California. Senator, thanks so much for being here. I know that at the time you were not yet sworn in, but as somebody in D.C. on January 6th, let me tell you, you didn't have to be an intelligence agent to know that there might be violence that day from Trump's mob. It was all over Twitter. The president was calling his supporters to come to D.C. How could this have been missed? How could law enforcement say this was an intelligence failure?
Right. Well, that's the big question that went partially unanswered today. It was a question that I myself asked, having had the vantage point of not being in Washington, but watched the split screen, what was happening in the Capitol on the 6th as the insurrection was developing outside the Capitol. Jake, if we stop and try to learn just a little bit from our experience these last 20 years when it comes to foreign terrorist organizations, I think it's easy to see clearly intelligence was missed. There's a lot of finger pointing today. We'll continue the conversation in next week's hearing with intelligence officials, but the Capitol Police did have the information. It was all over social media, what was going to happen. And one of the things I pointed out to was trial runs, is my belief, November 14th, December 12th, known as MAGA 1, MAGA 2, in preparation for the insurrection on January 6th.
And Senator, it sounds like you weren't satisfied with the answer you got to the question of how could they not have seen this coming. What about other answers you got? Were you satisfied with them?
Look, I think the one that was indisputable, I asked the former chief of Capitol PD, the former sergeant at arms of both the House and the Senate, just as most of the nation watched the House impeachment managers lay out the case against Donald Trump. Let's put aside the acquittal in the impeachment trial for a second, but the narrative that was recreated, the social media post, the video footage, not just of January 6th, but the lead up to January 6th. Was there anything in that narrative that they disagreed with? Each of them said no. So again, the evidence is there. Now, Donald Trump clearly shares in some of the responsibility here. Some of his enablers who sit on the committee share in the responsibility here. It's both about holding people accountable for the insurrection of January 6th and making necessary changes so this does not happen again in the future.
How confident are you that law enforcement is prepared for should another domestic terror attack like this one occur?
Look, I think if there was an attempt today, they're still not ready. We need some significant structural changes and resources to better prepare Capitol PD and other agencies to prevent an insurrection. Again, that's the reason why the barriers and the razor wire and the National Guard is still deployed in the Capitol area. So a lot needs to change in order to reach that level of safety and confidence to reopen the Capitol. But that's our mission. This is the home of our democracy. It should be completely accessible to the general public while maintaining the safety of the people who work here and visit here.
Your Republican colleagues, Senators Josh Hawley and Ted Cruz, participated in the hearing, too. As you know, many senators, including Republicans, hold those two responsible for feeding the big election lie and promising to challenge the electoral votes on that day, January 6th, thus creating this nonsensical view that somehow the results would be overturned that day. Hawley today was asked if he felt responsible. Take a listen to his response.
It's absolutely outrageous and an utter lie, and no one, I think, who knows any of the facts alleges any such thing.
Well, you know some of the facts. Do you think Hawley and Cruz are responsible in any way for what happened?
Absolutely. Like I said, it's not just Donald Trump that must be held accountable, but his enablers, including Senators Hawley and Senators Cruz. Jake, you know that prior to my appointment to the Senate, I served for 6 years as California Secretary of State. So for years and years, I've been battling the big lie as California's chief elections officer. We have seen not just the threat and the danger of election disinformation, we saw the deadly consequences of the big lie on January 6th, and people must be held accountable.
All right, Senator Alex Padilla, Democrat of California, thank you so much, sir. Good to see you as always.